Thanks, Dick.
So how do people pay for long-term care? Anyway.
It's real simple. You pay for it with your own money. You pay for it with long-term care insurance and your own money, or if you don't have either of those or your own money runs out, you have to depend upon Medicaid. Now, Medicaid, as we mentioned earlier, is the long-term care payment for people who don't have any other way to pay it.
This is not Medicare.
No. Medicare is an entitlement that we all earn by simply being tax-paying citizens in America. Medicaid is a program that is income and asset-based. So if you qualify by spending down to a certain level, then if you have long-term care issues, you can apply for and be qualified for Medicaid. Did we ever intend to have Medicaid become the long-term care policy for America? No. Is that where we are? Yes.
So you're facing a reality, and you're looking for ways to help us get through these realities of life and death.
Yes, and let's just talk about the cost for a minute, because I think that's critical. The average cost of nursing home in Washington outside of King County is $7,600 a month, and the statistic is that the average person is in a nursing home for 28 months. So that's $213,000 that a couple may have to figure out how to pay for. Now, let's say it's 3 years instead of 28 months or 6 years. These are numbers that are going to impoverish people that even have $500,000, $750,000, and so you have to look upon that and figure out some way to plan for it.
So who's affected by the cost of long-term care, John?
Really, anyone is affected, and as we live longer, people are being called upon to figure out how to finance long-term care. Research has indicated that $1.5 million or so people are self-funding their long-term care in America today. And good long-term care can come close to covering these costs without depleting assets, but most people do not have long-term care. It's very expensive. It's a planning piece that people have to step up to, and they're simply not doing that. What I see is if you have $100,000 or less, you're going to get Medicaid. I think if you got $1.5 million or so dollars, you can probably self-fund. But man, if you're in between there, which is where most people are, you're going to be devastated by the Medicaid process. And that's why looking at the possibility of splitting your estate, funding the Safe Harbor Trust to protect half the estate is just a good business decision. And that's what we're trying to support.
Well, John, thank you very much. John has been talking about the Safe Harbor Medicaid Qualifying Trust, and John Parr is with the Parr Law Firm in the West Hills Office Park Building, building number 20 at 1800 Cooper Point Road Southwest in Olympia, and John's number is 360-357-3036. And John, how about one more time in the simplest terms you can possibly do? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
I'll do it, Dick. I'll do it.
Safe Harbor Medicaid Qualifying Trust. That's a awfully complicated term.
We call it the Safe Harbor Trust. The husbands and wives come to us. We'll change your will so that instead of leaving your assets directly to your spouse, we'll put it into a safe bucket for your spouse so that the survivor can depend upon qualifying for Medicaid more quickly, and half of the estate will be preserved.
All right, I think I heard you say change your will. There are some people who don't have wills, but even those who do need to check this out.
Come and talk to us.
All right, John, thank you so very much. John Parr, my good friend and local attorney here in Olympia from the Parr Law Firm. Thank you very much, John, for being on the program.
My pleasure, Dick.